And at the end of the session, we did some major issues that I think are going to make a powerful difference in this state, like the issue of heroin. You know, and they say when it comes to a drug problem, step one is to admit the problem. Stop the denial. New York State has a terrible problem with heroin. And it's not that it's just a national problem. It is a New York-specific problem. 1/3 of all the heroin in the United States that was seized last year by the DEA was seized in the state of New York. Number of deaths since 2010 has doubled. And as you heard from the Lieutenant Colonel, well, we had heroin in the 60s. This heroin is worse. It is more potent than ever before. It's less expensive than ever before. You can get a heroin bag for $5, $10, and it is instantly addictive. The old heroin problem affected primarily what we called older people, 28 to 30 years old, older in the spectrum of users. This heroin epidemic, we have teenagers, and it's getting younger and younger and younger, and heroin is becoming more and more available. It's also not an inner city problem. It's not a poor people problem. It's not a problem that happens over there. It's a problem that is all throughout the state, more so in affluent suburbs with white teenagers from affluent middle-class families. And it is spreading like fire through dry grass. And we've been watching it for years, and it has just continued to grow exponentially. So what are we going to do? We're going to do everything we can. That's what we're going to do. Step one, as you heard, is our public safety response. 100 new state police officers who will be trained in heroin interdiction. They'll be added to the state police narcotics task force, doubling the size of that task force. It's an investment in state police, yes, but it's an investment for our children's benefit, and we're proud to make it. We're increasing the criminal penalties for people who sell heroin illegally, pharmacists. The crime goes to a high felony. We have a public education campaign to make parents aware. We have a education program that's going to be run on campuses like SUNY, where their police force, their university police, are trained in heroin and how to spot it and how to interdict heroin on college campuses. That training is going to be shared with private colleges. So literally, I think it's the most comprehensive response that the state government can be taking at this time, from criminal justice to education to treatment. We also have private insurance companies, by regulation, clarifying what appropriate treatment is. Some people with heroin try to get treatment and their insurance company won't cover it, or gives them a problem about coverage, you know, the way many insurance companies do. But if you deny coverage for treatment for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, that person can very well go out and harm themselves or harm others in the interim. So we're clarifying the insurance regulations. So it's treatment, it's public safety, it's education on the campuses, increased penalties for those who disregard all of the above. And the last point is this. Government will be doing everything that we can do in terms of resources, laws, etc. State police will do everything that they can do. SUNY teachers, SUNY school system will do everything that they can do. But that's not going to be enough, because government doesn't really solve problems like this. These problems get solved when everyone takes responsibility for the issue. This problem gets solved when neighbors and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles really recognize their responsibility, and the entire community takes responsible for this situation. There's a saying in Homeland Security type issues, terrorism issues, when you see something, say something. There should be a saying for this problem: if you know something, do something. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, I knew something was wrong. I knew he was doing something. I knew she was in trouble. I heard that they were at a party and he was doing drugs. How many people? But then it's too late. Heroin very rarely is a problem that solves itself. There is never a good outcome if you allow the trajectory to continue unabated. The only hope is someone, somewhere, steps in, and that person is ready to get help and treatment. And that is a responsibility of each and every person in this room and each and every member of this community. Because Lauren's son was my son, was your son, was your son. And if we all assume that responsibility, then we will make a difference in this crisis. And we will make this state a better state. Thank you for having me today. I'll now sign the bill. Bill is signed. Congratulations.